against Game of Gladiators. One of the games that really gave them a lot of momentum in that series was the Game 3, where they picked the Storm Spirit and started the reverse comeback with just an insane performance. 11-0-13. XM definitely can perform on the Storm Spirit with the biggest of stakes at hand.
I think it's his best Spirit hero. Like, he's level 25 on it. He can play this hero well. He's not... His Storm is kind of weird, though, because he is kind of this turrety player, and, you know, we don't see him play these jump initiators a lot. So it's not a hero that comes to mind when people think of his style and 4XG. And he kind of plays like a janky Storm, but he plays a very aggressive Storm that works when it works. And so do not underestimate it here if you're Tundra and what it can do for this XG lineup, and giving him that fight starter, giving him the hero that can start on the more for the Coddle. This might really be a race between the two mid laners. Like, who can get their fighting power online faster? You would expect it to be the Coddle. But if Thompson gets ganked once or twice, or one of his moves doesn't work, XM counter ganks it, then
the battle begins.
Like, who would you rather have going into that mid game? Not as straightforward, I think.
No, certainly not. All right, Bounty Rune's going to get split up. As far as lanes go, what are you expecting here? Because we do have a double melee off lane for Xtreme. They decided to do that again, but this time with a Kunkka. And they're going to start off, instead of blocking their own creep wave, they're actually going to block Tundra's creep wave. They're going to kill the range creep and make it so their own creep wave goes into tower. The White Mon is going to try and stop that as much as he can. Can't body block enough, though.
Yeah, nice play from them. A lot of harass. Instant range creep kill.
Oh, man.
God, he almost died.
Almost straight up died. He was like 20 HP after that Fisher.
I mean, calculated, I guess. I mean, Shaker makes these double melee lanes viable. Like, you can get stuff out of them pretty reliably. So I think they'll do okay here, but the Morphling should free farm this lane for sure. So this is another interesting aspect of this Shaker Chen matchup. Like, if one of the things these teams are afraid about with Chen is his laning presence, you know, how do we lane versus Chen straight up? Shaker doesn't lane him straight up. He just pulls waves, creates equilibrium imbalance, can block the small camp while doing all that, be really annoying. Those types of things are obnoxious for Chen. It's a way to get around to get the courier kill.
Sounds like a good post-game interview question if Xtreme does win the second game.
I think so. It is something that I feel like a lot of teams just forget about, that you can do this stuff, right? And that's where I'm saying you have a hero like Chen that has these broken aspects, but there's always creative ways you can get around them and mitigate his strengths. It's like Undying, right? You know, if you go up against Undying and you sit there with a strength hero and hit him in the face, Undying's the most broken laner in Dota. But you can also just not do that. You know, you can pull waves, you can stack up and not play the lane as much and recover later. You can snipe couriers, you can gank mid and make him have to rotate and feel bad. Like, all these little things add up and get you through the peaks of these enemy heroes, and sometimes they don't feel as broken as a consequence. So I like the creativity coming out from the Shaker pick and the idea behind it.
XXS battling out with Pure once again. Pure right the edge here, doesn't quite die to the Fisher. More strength up, and it's the Tornado. Dude, I hate this Tornado. It's one of my least favorite neutral abilities. The fact that you don't even channel it anymore. This dude just throws out a Tornado and just lasts forever in lane.
Yeah, I mean, Chen's just broken. What can you do? You know, I don't know why you give this hero away. Can't even lane at all. What can you do? I mean, this is still a very strong lane if you get caught in those situations. You'll secure Pure the Lotus, but overall, I think XG are pretty happy with how this lane phase is going. They're finding some decent farm on XXS. Yeah, you give up a kill, but CS is still looking good for their cores. And XM has done a very good job mid, mitigating the regen damage early and just securing every creep with these renders. Thompson, I don't think he's having too much fun in this matchup compared to what Coddle can do to a lot of heroes.
Yeah, I would have thought this matchup would have been better for the Coddle, just because Storm Spirit usually plays a lot more like a melee hero.
Yeah, but he has that guaranteed lane shove and secure power. Very good water rune abuser. But XM's played it well for sure. And this is good for XG. As it's going to put him in a strong position. Thompson is stacking the jungle a little bit. Jin Q is going to block it a little bit. That's obnoxious.
Do you think,
dude,
when Thompson
sees that, he's going to be so mad. Like, why is this guy blocking my mid camp at 4 mid? Like, what is wrong with you? Go do something.
Ame gets a little low. I have a question about that. Do you think that when Thompson goes back and sees the camp is only double stacked, not triple stacked, do you think he will think that he messed it up? Bottom lane still going at Jesus. These guys on a sliver of HP. The tar bomb isn't quite enough. Everybody getting super low. Nobody quite dying for the second kill of the game.
I think he is going to think it's a sentry. I mean, he might just think he messed it up, but your first instinct is they block the camp. They will find Ame again.
Yeah, they finally get it. And somebody had to break. DY is going to be able to get... Oh, not quite!
Alpha Wolf! Didn't hit him.
Alpha Wolf. It went to the wrong target.
Did not get the return kill, though this laning phase is still better for Ame overall. I mean, he's CSing pretty damn well down here. I'm gonna force Toby back as well. Actually, my
now Toby's dead. All right, finally got a return kill.
It's a nice cheeky kill by Tundra, but the lane overall it's been a struggle for Toby. Enchantress Clinks, that is not an easy lane for the no armor centaur. And Jin Q is just 2v1ing this guy mid.
Yeah, I mean, if Thompson thought the first block was a sentry, well, he's right now. It is a sentry now.
Again, this is like, you know, if you don't want to play the Chen straight up, get creative and find ways to make your presence felt elsewhere in the game and make Whitemon feel bad. Maybe you put the Chen in a position where he feels like he has to follow the roam. And that's not something Chen feels great about doing. He just kind of wants to kill some camps, farm some creeps, get his levels. On the flip side, if Jin Q doesn't accomplish much here, then Tundra are very happy because they have a Chen farming jungle while he's just running around, you know, clown falling it up, so to say.
Yeah, that's true.
And
XM is yeah, and that potential for him to make a play is now open now that XM. I mean a play outside of blocking neutral camps. A play that results in a kill is available now that XM is level 6, so something to keep an eye on. He's got a full mana pool too, so there is a chance that he makes a zip over to shut down this Kotor.
I mean,
all in all, definitely a better laning phase for Xtreme than it was in game 1.
Yeah, this is a real threat, the fissure into the storm jump on the Coddle. Thompson just dies every time. And we already saw, like, he ferried out these sentries. Or he ferried out a sentry from Whitemon. Some economic damage there. Shinkyu got out. So maybe he's making some, again, these small things. Small little victories for XG. Giving XM a really good game here, though. Like, he is top of the CS, top of the net worth. Opening up a gap and probably going to get the 6-minute power rune. I don't think the Coddle's contesting it. This Storm's going to be strong in this game. He has the new null talismans, which help him as well.
Now, Xtreme did try the Storm Spirit a couple times after that best of 5, where they played the Storm Spirit in game 3 and managed to get the reverse sweep over Gaming Gladiators in that finals. They played it once against Falcons, which, you know, Falcons was at Bet Boom Dacha. That's where Falcons started their very dominant run. They went on a crazy series win streak starting at that tournament. They lost that match, and then they also played it against Team Spirit at Dream League Season 22, lost that game. And then they tried it again at this last tournament, Elite League, where they did manage to win against Quest in a 50-minute game. So they seem to have this MO of drafting a Storm Spirit game once a tournament.
Not a common hero for XM, but one he is perfectly willing to pull out, and they're looking for that 6-minute power rune.
Gotcha.
Big rune mid. Catapult's still up mid as well. gonna force this wave against Thompson.
Yeah, they're not even going to try and contest on the Tundra side, which is probably smart. If any supports go there, the Storm Sphere is just going to zip on them, plus whatever support is sitting there. So
this was guaranteed, I feel.
Yeah, Ame. Now the TP is going to come in from the Storm Sphere, so he's going to get the punish here. The question is, how much of a punish? Is he going to kill anybody? 9 class. Looks like he's going to die. XM, low enough mana after that he's unlikely to go for any more kills, but we'll see off of the Invis rune. They're still drop the Sentry and chase after him, but XM has plenty of mana left.
And we saw this one coming from the draft. Like, this Chen move was just free for the taking. Whitemon makes it, has some good creeps as well. Harpy goes again.
Still here, they're behind Thompson right now, but Thompson is going to be able to get the kill on DY. Any heroes that join XM here could be a master kill on Thompson, but Thompson's healing himself up. Running low on mana. He offered the high five. Where's the Fisher? Ame will come in. Shinkyu takes the last hit. He was offering the high five to Thompson. Ends up dying to Thompson. Thompson tips him for that little 1-on-2 fiasco.
I mean, I guess XG defend this tower. Kind of an even move overall. Maybe not what Whitemon wanted out of all that though, which was like a clean move into the Klink's kill, into what happened last game where Ame comes back and you kill him again and take his tower. That would have been the chef's kiss, but XG are willing to devote more resources to that now and defend the tower. Ame gets a turnaround kill. So this game is still very even across the board, and I mean, if you're even out of the early game against Chen, you're probably content with that. Again, you have an Earthshaker here, so you're not really looking to win the early game with an Earthshaker. You just want to get his items. Also, XXS is, I don't know how the hell he ended up over here, but he can't TP out.
Yeah, he was cutting waves and taking neutrals. And if he could separate himself from 9 class, he actually maybe could TP out, but 9 class is too fast, especially with slowdown here. The Thompson's bringing with Solar Bind, so you're right. He stays unable to TP away. Telekinesis finally used. And XXS will finally die.
Damn while. It's going to force Pure to defend mid because it took so long. Also, another power rune for XM. He should get all of them this game.
Yeah, none of the good power runes so far. So the good ones, the spicy ones, are coming up. The Arcane rune and the Regen rune are in rotation and coming up. So
ED as well.
Yeah, amp damage is another massive one for Storm Spirit. Yeah.
XG just going to keep farming up here. Onus is on Tundra to make the moves with the Chen. Ame just going to try and kill some of the creeps. You get him, actually. Whitemon opting to deny the bounty rune. Sacrifices his creeps to do so. I mean, Ame happy about this game compared to the last one, I'll say that much.
Yeah.
An 0-2 start for the Klinks, that's his dream at this point, I think.
Yeah, it's so funny how the expectations are set now. Like, if this was game 1 and we didn't have any history here, we'd say like, oh, Ame's not having the best time, but by comparison, it looks fantastic. Thompson's gonna die in the top lane with big rotation coming out from Xtreme, catching him out.
Storm is so good at answering Coddle on the map. Like, the Coddle shows he wants to gank these side lanes with ult, Solar Bind, Burn Vessel, whatever. Storm TPs, jumps him, insta-kills him. His HP pool is too low. The hero's designed to survive by kiting people out, not getting jumped. And Storm just punishes all of that. This was a really nice pick by XP. Thompson has no momentum in this game.
Oh, the telekinesis, can they get him with the pull back in? Oh, they almost got him off of that vortex. A shield rune was what spawned and is taken away from XM. So even if they don't get the kill, just taking power runes away from the Storm Spirit is always very value. Though again, that still leaves big runes on the horizon.
You're getting very active in this mid lane. Push it down.
Ame kills Toby here out on the Ancients.
That's a big pickup for him. Q's probably just going to echo this game. He just wants the gold and the creeps, man. That is hella worth it.
Yeah, he gets a lot of gold off of that, and even got Pure a little bit low.
Still can't really defend these pushes.
Skeletons are ramping up in the bottom lane, so it's not just Ame's pressure, but The Skelly boys are going to work, almost finishing off the tower.
Got his clan doing the dirty work for him. XG making some moves this early game, creating pressure while Whitemon keeps trying to assert dominance over these objectives. Next move for Tundra is definitely going to be the Chen into this bottom lane, kick the Clinks out, try and take this tower. If they can get Thompson involved in that play, they'd be super happy about it, as he does have his vessel done. And he needs to gain some momentum here. This is not the position you want that mid coddle in. 1-2 start for him with a lost lane and some camp block. Feels a little bad.
It is a great start for Pure's Morphling. Fisher comes out, hits the Chen plus his army, and they'll take one of those creeps away.
On trying to make this move. He really wants this tier 1 down.
And XM, he's going to come defend it. Coming through the portal. Are Tundra strong enough to deal with this initiation that comes in from XM? When they're grouped up like this, the Chen plus the Coddle, it's a lot of tankiness and heal.
Especially when you can throw this armor on the Centaur. He's just not an easy target to jump.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Really rebuke the push though.
He will. And they're getting good pressure on mid tower at the same time.
I mean, again, like, it feels like a little victory for XG, not by much, but you're looking at maybe 52-48 margins or something. Able to hold. And when you're looking at that net worth chart, their cores are all in some solid positions here.
Pick off and mid. Two-man smoke mid. Gets into position to kill the Coddle. Take that tower. XM just got so much gold off of that. He's got a Kaya and is working away to a Witchblade very quickly.
Gonna scout out the Chen. Gonna poke him, but
Stampede trying to run down Ame, but turn back for the Enchantress instead. Can't get that kill either.
Kill squad
being
coming in.
chased after. Fisher's going to come in, slowing down Whitemon enough, and now XM is going to collect the extra kill in 9 class. Pulls him back in with a Vortex, and we'll keep chasing. Nothing 9 class could do but try and steal Ball Lightning. But of course, XM won't give it to him for free here. They're even going to try and take this Ancient stack, though Thompson's coming in with a blast here soon. Might be hard for Xtreme to keep fighting.
They don't have the resources to do this. They might pay a heavy price.
It back in, stomped, and they get the pick off on Ame, so not only protecting their Ancients, but getting a little extra for it.
That was a really vital kill for Thompson. He was just not finding much in this game. XM's had his
one rune. 14-minute rune. It's the 3 runes of power for the Storm Spirit. It was either the amp damage regen or arcane rune, and ends up being the regen, which Pure grabs.
That sequence was still very nice for XG. Like, they defend bottom tier 1, they kill some of the Chen creeps. Whitemon has to back. It forces Thompson back into mid, which they then make the 2-man move on. And that 2-man kill squad in the Shaker Storm is just going to be deadly for Thompson the instant it connects. Tier 1 into 2 more support kills. That is, like you said, a hell of a lot of gold for the Storm. Pure still being active on the map. Like, his KDA doesn't reflect it, but he's top net worth. He took this tier 1 mid. He took that rune. He's been involved in some of the defensive action. It's about as much as you can ask from a Morphling in this game. And that'll get them the blink.
Do you think Morphling carries this game?
I think Morphling can carry it, but I don't think it's like, okay, we have 6 slotted Morphling, we auto win. It's not that type of game at all. But can Morphling get a timing here? You know, end up in a position where he has his Conda, plus he can steal some Shaker spells and just start laying into people. Get an Aegis, go high ground with Chen Aura, for sure.
Okay, second question. Xtreme Gaming, their early game is going so much better than game 1. But will is Tundra better suited for some of the late games that Xtreme showed in game 1?
I mean, honestly, not really.
Okay.
I think they're gonna lose late game pretty hard if it goes 60 minutes again and XG are on even footing. Yeah, I just don't see this Coddle scaling into that part of the game. I think he just gets jumped every time, and there's not much you can do about it. I don't think Centaur, Rubik, Chen are doing enough damage to just wait back. Like, this lineup is meant to hit a mid-game peak and just barrel you over. And Thompson is going to go that Orchid. I was wondering if that was going to be the build-up. If you go the Orchid here, you have a big opportunity to shut XM down in the fights and counteract that jump. But then you have to get that value out of it. Like, you have to make that work.
Find the Chen.
Big connection.
Just walks right into him. Stampede will actually get the Chen away. Fisher put on the other side, but it doesn't matter, I don't think. He'll get him anyway. Even the X being put to use. XM is going to be able to clean up the army as well. So Chen's going to come back and be a very weak hero. One of the biggest downsides of Chen. You get picked off like that, you lose your army. You're not just a dead hero for 30 seconds, but a dead hero for like 60 to 90 seconds because you got to recoup your army.
They're just getting picked off right now. These are not support deaths you can afford to give away. Like, you need to have as little deaths as possible so you can maintain the net worth lead or evenness going into these 5-man group ups. Because every time you group for that, the Clinks is going to rat the map, the Storm is going to wrap the map. You're going to fall behind in the net worth pretty fast if you're giving up the rat, giving up the kills, and you're not taking objectives. That's like the worst case scenario. Whoa, what is this?
Q walks up to the Ancients, and Pure was farming them. They're rude. Very rude.
Surprised he didn't echo that back just to...
If they were low,
down.
I think he would have for sure.
They're gonna re-smoke here. Like, this is a Shaker blink. They want Pure.
If Pure comes down this cliff, he's gonna get one shot. He shows himself.
God.
The smoke breaks underneath the ward, and Jin Q is too afraid for his life. He blinks backwards. If they had played it just a little bit more patient, they had a kill on Pure for sure. But now he's morphed up strength a little bit. Tundra's behind him. Smoke, they're actually baiting him out. A bait that Xtreme will not bite down on. Not yet, anyway. So instead, they take it. Stomp into Torrent. Waveform over the top. The Fisher tries to stop it, but XXS is already dead.
Orchid means there's no boat there. So even if you go in with the Shaker, it's not saving XXS in that situation. Thompson gets a good connection here, gets some more earn charges. And Tundra finally able to put a good move together, though.
They spotted Thompson for a second there. XM was making his way to an amp damage rune, turned back around because they thought they had an opportunity to kill Thompson.
Gotta be careful about these aggressive moves. You don't know if Ame's scouting you, and if he's scouting you, you get fissured, you get jumped. You're just gone, and it's very low committal from XG.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Simultaneously, though, XM does need to be careful with his aggression, at least until he has his Yule Scepter to counter the Orchid from Thompson.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Pure is just... he's very farmed. And Tundra used it for anything. Like, I feel like the only thing I can really do with this morph is just go into the Roche with him plus Penitence. Kind of let him solo it up. He does have Vampire Fangs here for the lifesteal. Option exists.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower.
I mean, it feels like an option they need to take.
At some point, yes. It might be easier when this switches to day, just based on where the vision is on the map and
Sure.
lanes they've been pushing in. Maybe that's a consideration. This Torrent Storm is up for XXS as well. So if you get caught in that pit, it'd be nasty. But again, you're playing Chen. You have to play through what the Chen wants to do in Dota, which is farm jungle, get auras, and use those auras to make sure you can force objective-based fights where the enemy has to go into your timing. That is what auras do for you. You can't get that going. They're not some infinite scale mechanism.
Stampede attempted to grab the Storm Spirit, but he gets out alive, and as a result, gets his Yule Scepter when he gets home. So now that Orchid gonna be a lot less effective. Huh?
Pure losing the one-on-one versus the Tormentor.
Oh yeah, he did.
Retreat and shame.
Shame.
Are scanning.
Big move from XG here. Basically 5-man smoke with the Klink's invis off the map.
And right around the Wisdom Rune Tormentor timing too. So this side of the map has a lot of objectives they could get to, but the smoke is going to break on that same high ground ward. So Pure is already out of there. They're going to deward that spot. Wisdom Rune available, but it baits in the Kunkka. They jump on XXS. Orchid put onto him and starts trying to run himself away. There goes that Echo Slam, hitting the Morphling, not quite finish him up, but the Centaur is going to be the one to die, while Ame and DY's damage is adding up, and Pure, he can't handle it. Too much control and too much damage between the two backliners laying into him. Now Thompson's next up on the table as he gets Yules stalled up a little bit for Ame to DY to join in to again pump the damage into the hero. They got the X to pull back on the Rubik as well. One kill to another to another. They get 4 in total for Xtreme Gaming and can take that Tormentor now.
They committed the Orchid onto XXS there, which opens up the fight for the Storm and the Shaker, and they don't even get that kill, so XXS able to pump all his spells back into that team fight. That is just a free go for XG once that happens. Despite the smoke breaking on that ward, Pure not able to set that fight up well for the team. And the auras are just not enough to keep him alive. Once the damage starts going out, it's just pretty consistent here. Big team fight win for XG, and now the lead's up to 9K, just out of nowhere.
Man, Tundra might feel real silly as we'll watch this team fight again. High ground ward. I guess thinking similar situation where they had that fight in the jungle where they think no boat, right? The Orchid on Kunkka means no boat, so maybe we can actually kill him, but Jin Q, he gets in there and I mean, these heroes are just lined up. For DY and Ame, they practically don't have to move. They're just sitting there right-clicking the entire time.
We also see some of the lack of damage. Like, they committed all their disables on that Kunkka, and he walked it off with 1/3 of his HP left.
Yeah.
Now, their disables aren't a lot. They have Post Stomp, Lift, Orchid, that's it. But if you're going to commit them all on the same guy and you can't get him, then you're really screwed. Nonetheless, Tundra will just man up for the Roshan. I think this was the play you have to make.
And
lost too much off that fight.
They should be able to get it here, though. They may still get caught as XXS. If he gets here fast enough, he might be able to get some heroes with an X Torrent Storm. DY takes the Watcher away from them, shows himself, daring them to go on him. And I think Tundra is going to oblige, but again, XXS has all this team fight. Is there anybody here to back it up? Ame coming in from behind. Gleipnir throws out the damage onto Thompson. Doesn't get that much done, though. Whitemon gives him the extra armor. Only gets Thompson down to half HP. Now Ame's the one who's being jumped on, and he dies. XM, now he's going to have to be the one to carry through this fight around the Torrent Storm, but he only get the pick off on the support. Got him on the counter X. X for X. Pure turned into the Kunkka to try and catch XXS, but XXS X'd himself to counter the X from Pure. XXS's X allows him to get away.
A lot of X. That's a lot of X's, man. That's too many X's for me. Yeah. Nice heads up play from him, but weird that Ame went back in there. Like, he gets a Rubik, but gives up all his positioning, doesn't have BKB to bail him out. It's a nice fight for Tundra. Get the Aegis on Pure. Pure starting to do some work in these fights. With the Conda completed, he does a lot of burst damage. He'll get this rune despite Xingqiu's attempts to annoy him.
8 amp damage Conda Morphling. If I'm Xtreme Gaming, I'm taking a little time out right now. I don't want to take any fights near this Morphling, and if I'm Tundra, I'm smoking up, and I'm trying to find a pick off immediately.
They're looking straight at the Storm, and they get the Orchid.
Zip, zip, zip. Oh, they're TPing in. They're still going to try and take this fight. Xtreme Gaming, man. I think this momentum in this game too has maybe gotten to their head a little bit. You know, this is such a different outcome from game one. They're like, guys, we're leading this game, and they think they can take any fight. That's just not the case.
Reason. It feels like they're just trying to force anything they can get.
Yep.
And that's definitely not the case. You still have to respect the disable that Thompson brings to the table right now until you have dispels on everybody, and You ideally want to latch something with an X or like a Shaker Fissure into the Storm Clinks damage. If that's not combined together, then Chen's gonna bail out whoever gets jumped. He has Pipe and Mech available now. The auras are online for Whitemon. The Eternal Shroud is there for Toby, so these heroes are starting to tank up a bit. And Thompson's gonna have his BKB soon. So this is that mid-game threat with this Chen lineup that Tundra want to hit with these Aegises. Push the objectives, force XG to fight them on their terms, on their timings. How much can they get during these periods? It's going to be really pivotal to pull this game back. They're still down 8k. Not insurmountable at all.
Orchid. The X is gonna pull him back soon. XXS has to use the BKB to try and survive through this one. The Fissure goes out. Now the Torrents are in both, but Pure gets the final hit in to claim the life of the Kunkka. And things beginning to fall apart a little bit for Xtreme as they get an extra pull in thanks to the tidal wave from Pure. And he may be stunned for a long time, but they'll eventually get that damage. Meanwhile, Xtreme is putting pressure on the other lanes, though. They just need to stop these pickoffs that are happening. XM gets some damage on the tier 3. Ame bit on the tier 2 mid.
Where an X goes wrong, it goes really wrong. Once more, the kind of casualness of these plays from XG costing them a lot of their lead here. Cut in half by Tundra over the course of this Aegis. You can keep swinging that totem, buddy, but it's not landing on much right now. Tundra strike back in this game. Very strong Aegis period for them. All of the backup Pure just being a beast in these fights. So much damage. He's so high level. He's level 20.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Ripping
attack.
through them.
Something about the way you describe that. When an X goes wrong. When XXS X goes wrong, an XXX production.
Dire's top tower is under
Hey, chill out there. Chill out there, pal. That's not what I said. Don't put those words on me. That's on you.
Blink almost level 20 here. And Tundra off of this. Oh no, the Morphling gets a little bit countered. A Torrent goes out though, stopping some of that damage. Pure goes for the BKB, TP out. Oh, they could not afford. He does get X for the BKB, outlast that one. It just by a second. It was a little close, yeah.
I mean, another aggressive move by Pure. Yeah. High risk, high reward. Is it worth trying to burst an Eternal Shroud Enchantress by waveforming into the enemy base? I don't know, but
yeah. I mean, I can feel it because we did kind of say the time is limited for Tundra. I think you do have to have the mindset of go big or go home, you know?
I guess. You just want to do it in the right way, which is you get these Aegises and you kind of push with them and force XG to fight you straight up, where the Chen can dictate those damage exchanges. Now your Aegis is gone, which green light for XG to start making plays again. They're gonna make them. They're just maxing the Eternal Shrouds again. It's an Eternal Shroud Storm.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yup. I mean, you said he's a little bit of a strange Storm Spirit. He does some things a bit different, a bit more of a brawler, and we're gonna see that here with the Eternal Shroud.
So they have double BKB, double Eternal Shroud. I mean, once again, just making Thompson's life hell out here, man. Playing these magic damage mids, and XG are really putting him in a bind. How much he can impact these fights.
The ultimate Thompson counter.
I guess so.
I mean, he plays so many magic damage dealing mids. On the high ground, Smoke's gonna break. Pure gonna dare the high ground situation. They try and jump onto him. He's already morphed into strength. Telekinesis lands onto the Storm Spirit here. Hit the stomp as well. XM, he's actually dropping here with a pull into the vortex. They actually got him. The tidal wave comes a bit too late to bail him out. And Ame didn't find much of an opening. Oh, wait, the Echo Slam. It lands on. They go for Pure. They got him off the torrent, and then the damage came in from Ame. enough damage from the burning barrage, and the difference is, if Storm Spirit dies, they can still play through Ame, but once the Morphling is gone, it all falls apart for Tundra.
Absolutely over if the Morphling goes down. Like, there's nobody pulling that team fight win out of a hat. And, I mean, XM almost didn't die. He had Yules up. That was a very clutch Vortex pull by Pure at the perfect time to seal his fate. But like you said, it's just still not good enough. There's not enough in the tank to take the extended fight, and Ame's just on the back lines, forcing the early mech heal out of Whitemon. He still dies to the skeletons. Really nice position from Ame, and of course, the second you try and escape from the fight, Jinkyu's gonna lock you in there. Tundra struggling in the team fights this series to build momentum off them. They're back down 10k. I mean, where do you go from here? Because now you need the next Roshan. Not a question of can you get it on Tundra, it's you have to get it if you want to win this game.
Yeah. Daedalus is almost done for Ame. We saw how much the Daedalus can change the game for this Clinks. Once you put all of these items together, it's the Daedalus that is the finishing touch that gives you that one-shot capability. And it is just around the corner. Just need 300 gold for it. So it's going to be up for this Roshan fight, which, whoopsies, 9 class got a little too close to that Tormentor and got one shot by Pure's own Conda adaptive strike play.
At least he got the shard. Help him recover.
It's true. Spend that 30 seconds ruminating on what this Aghanim shard is going to do for him in these fights.
XG just playing for Roche. Defending the lanes, they have Gem on DY. They know they've secured all the vision in this area. Just waiting for the spawn. They got a Satyr creep scouting it out. Old Tormentor. It's a matter of Tundra having to assault the position. And the burst damage for Ame is starting to get there, man.
Burst damage is there.
In the late game.
Yeah. XXS's frontlining capabilities have increased with a Bloodstone. Plus, he's going to have that level 20 talent soon. So, even more torrents to come.
I mean, how do you approach this position if you're Tundra? You can't really create pressure elsewhere. A little too late to do that. And you can't really just run anybody in. Like, are you just hoping Toby hits a crazy hoof stomp here? Is that what it's coming down to?
Kinda. Hey, did you mention Jinkyu going the Octarine? Yeah, so you're... Dude, the spam that is going to come out. Fissure and Torrents. Non-stop. Very soon. Like level 20 there, plus Jinkyu completing an Octarine. You're just gonna be you're gonna be hit by a Fissure, and then you're gonna get Enchant Totem stunned, and then a Torrent Storm's going out, or a Torrent, and a boat. It's just gonna be non-stop, man. These team fights are gonna be hell for Tundra to play.
They have a very small interval to get what they need to get done in that team fight, which is burst one of these big damage cores. And I think it has to be Ame or XM. And then you have to do it in a way where you still have resources to take the fight. So the stuns have to connect. The hoof stomp has to connect. The lift has to be there. Steal a fissure.
Is the Ame? Oh, 9 class went for it. He didn't quite get it though, and now Stampede isn't gonna get him far enough away. Wait, the jump in. Storm Spirit gets Orchided immediately. You'll it off. 9 class getting the tip. He tipped early on in game 1 when they were leading so badly, and now Ame, you can tell, they've got this game 2 in the bag right now, and he wants 9 class to know it.
You're gonna put up a fight. You just finished Butterfly. Insane damage spike for him. Nothing getting through this right now. Greaves on Whitemon as well, so a lot more survivability here. Tundra. Maybe they can last through that second half of the skirmish.
I just don't believe it. Again,
looking
not
tough.
with the low
It's looking
cooldowns of these spells.
That's what Shaker does to you. This hero, we don't see him a lot, but his scale is still insane. Like, he was one of the best late game supports in the world. He just makes the team fights impossible. Hunter gonna try and
What was that?
He dropped an item, but he
Man
got
just
it.
dropped his null talismans like crazy. Okay, that's going to be the Aegis.
Oh, dropping the nulls comes later, dog.
BKB from Toby. And there's the Echo Slam trying to blow up Pure. See if they've got the damage. He's morphing his strength. He's going to be okay. Wait for him over the side. Managed to pick up a amp damage rune. Not on Pure, though. He's getting back with the BKB Stampede. They will reset. If Thompson can get out, looks like everybody's clean. They took away an Aegis and didn't give anything back to Xtreme Gaming. Not bad.
Yeah, something. Pure is insanely tanky with this butterfly. All the auras behind him. And the bigger win maybe was they got Fissure on 9 class. Finally able to connect with that spell steal onto the Shakers. Been looking for it all game. Jinkyu has made it very difficult.
Yeah.
But now, level 4 Fissure for this Rubik. No joke. Gives them a lot more control, a lot more chain stun potential, which is what they really want in this lineup.
Alright, XM, he can buy out his Ags now. But he is still reliant. He's also got Timeless Relic. He is still reliant on the Yules to protect him from the Orchid and such, which is where that chain stun may come into play, right? Like, he doesn't have BKB. Rubik has a chance here. Fissure, Fade Bolt for an Aftershock, Telekinesis. Maybe. Gem, up at the high ground, DY. He's trying to take away this ward. Fissure goes out. A big Honda hit will finish off the Enchantress. Can they get the gem and get out here? Pure trying to man to dodge. Doesn't quite get it, though. The boat stuns him. He doesn't get the gem, but he should be able to get out no problem. In fact, he even X's in Tidal Waves XXS. XXS still has Bloodstone BKB, but another Telekinesis comes out. No, he's getting a chain stun before he can use the BKB. Not respecting those stuns that we were talking about. 9 class finally gets his hands on the Fissure. Must be prescient, SVG, because he immediately uses it to win that fight.
This is the best spell he can get in this game. It's not even close. And this is the first time he's gotten it, so finally he can start to turn this lineup against XG. And Tundra's finding some momentum here in the late game, which we thought was going to be the struggle for them. They're also closing in on Hex for Thompson. So they're picking up some of the slack in terms of those disables they didn't have. Now they have the Fissure plus Hex done on Thompson. The team fight for XM is not as easy anymore. It's not just I get Orchid and I'm going to dispel guys. If you're getting Hex, and Pure is going to slay you. He is going to kill you in those 3 seconds, 100 to 0. So you're going to have to play for this Ags Vortex pull. You're going to have to play for the Shaker control and maybe earlier BKBs than you wanted to make sure you get your spells off, because Tundra are firing back right now. And they have a lot of burst damage to go into the Fissure Hex that they control.
Hey, Avery, I got an update for you. I think we're the last game going on. The outcome was something that we did not actually discuss in our list of potential outcomes here. Xtreme, if they lose this, eliminated. If they win this, 4-way tiebreaker with the potential for an upper bracket spot available for one of the 4 teams, and another team is going to get eliminated.
Jeez. Dude, how can they make upper bracket? That's insane to me, but
Oh, Lyrical just hit me up with the information too. Thank you, Lyrical. Yeah, 4-way tiebreaker at potential here if Xtreme manages to take this. I mean, that would be insane if this team could actually go from the pit that they were in, of almost guaranteed being eliminated, the way that day 1 went and everything, to come back and still have a chance to make upper bracket.
Exactly why every win matters in a group stage. Because that 1 win you get off some team randomly on some day might just come back to push you above the threshold. Huge smoke from XG. They're looking for the initiation. They're only going to find Toby on a break.
Is that going to be a good jump, though? Got the sight onto XM, but he's walking away. Pure's chasing after him. They got the Orchid, but the Yule Scepter goes off. Can they finish him off? XM makes the jump away, step back, forth, wave boom through, and Pure starts making a run for it. They did not get their mark. A Fisher comes out, blocking in. Pure, he pulls him to the other side. Another scythe going off, and the heals coming in are actually keeping XM perfectly okay. Now Pure is out of damage. He's full on morph strength. He goes the waveform, but they pull him back in with XM. And now he's dead with no buyback.
The brutal chain stunning off this Morphling at the end with a vengeance. Double Hex goes out on XM. He survives through all of it. I think that was a greater Lotus that DY put on him after he jumped in. Like, the balls on this man to make that jump with nothing left and gets bailed out by a Lotus or something. Stolen Torrent Storm on 9 class that fight, but it came out on the backside, so he wasn't able to get anything done with it. As Toby just gets 100-0 through a Martyr's Plate, through an Eternal Shroud. It doesn't matter.
XM fielded himself 9 class though. Quick reactions, gets the telekinesis and defends himself.
And now the army is here. Ame, you gave this man his clink. You ganked him in the lane again. But Ame clinks is inevitable. He is level 25. He is here for your base. He's here for you.
There goes the scythe. XM able to deal with it easily. 9 class, too much damage. He goes down. 30 seconds left for the Morphling. Now 45 on the Rubik as another Fisher going out. Spotting an opening. XM tries to push it, but he has total freedom in this game, it seems. Even with the Scythe device, they still do not really have an answer to him. They can throw some stuns around, but 3,000 HP with an Eternal Shroud, they just do not have the damage. They don't even have the damage for DY's Enchantress with the Eternal Shroud just being the answer to Tundra in Game 1 and Game 2. They can't do any damage, man. Not without Pure. Pure coming back into play, but immediately gets fissured up by Shin Q, so he doesn't get a chance to grab anybody while they're still in the base.
Pure had to go his own Hex here. He cannot just... He didn't feel like he could go for raw damage. It felt like they needed a bit more control of his own for when he goes in and claims a target. So that also hurts your damage potential. Though it gives you more openings on the Storm, the Clinks, the Shaker here, if you can find them. So far, it has been XG finding Tundra in these late game battles, out-scaling them, out-maneuvering them. And is that a... It is indeed a full refresher for Jin Q here. He is so farmed all of a sudden. And the benefit of that Octarine build is you got the mana to use this bad boy.
That's true. Last, like, game 1, when he picked up that refresher, he was kind of all in on just double Echo Slams. But now he can throw out spells constantly.
I mean, this is the 4-player just dream right here. Earthshaker in a game where you get Octarine Aether Refresher. He might be the... He might have the highest damage potential in the game right now if he can land everything on a couple targets. That is something that Tundra are gonna have to think about, because he doesn't have to commit either. He can just spam the stuns from afar. DY raking on the front line.
Yeah, he puts himself here on this high ground. He can sprint down to the low ground if he's gone on. Roshan going to die. Tundra not going to be able to get in the pit in time. The Aegis. The spoils go to Xtreme Gaming. And Tundra
Shards
have to walk away and play for another high ground defense.
Double Vortex pull into double Echo Slam into double boat, double Torrent Storm. I mean, what? What are you doing now, Tundra? You can steal Fisher, but you're gonna throw a Fisher into this lineup and your Morph is gonna get hit with the goddamn AoE barrage of a lifetime.
Also, how do you stop the Megas from not being taken?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can.
He almost has his Aghanim Scepter too, which, you know, that, like, when he showed it off in game 1, it was like, okay, the buildings just are gone and there's nothing you can do about it.
And there's the
coming in right now.
Yeah, it's already done. I mean, this just feels like an inevitable push. It's not a question of can you win this fight. It's a question of can you survive with anything right now. Because they're about to unleash this orbital barrage on your ass. You're about to feel it.
Immediately, the army's already put out there, and there goes the Storm Spirit. Grab on two, pulls them together. No Echo Sam to follow it up, but it does get the kill on 9 class. And immediate buyback there. While Pure's getting hit by constant Torrents, and now the Echo Slams comes in to finish him off. Another buyback, a second Echo Slam for Jin Q. As he hits another 2. X-Bot on him, but another grab from XM, grabbing another 2 after 2 with the Torrent on top of that one. Coming in hot with a boat going in. It's going to be the Centaur going down. 9 class is going to die back for him, and Pure fighting for his life on a second life, but he's going to get pulled.
Dragging back.
6X and 6 once again. Locked down by the Gleipnir, turns around, gets grabbed by the Vortex. Disable after disable. Nobody is getting away from this one. The fountain is not a hold, and it's going to be GG from Tundra Extreme.